So, Stephen, what do you think we should do about David Lay 3 of The Guardian, UK? He told Julian Assange to be a man. What do you think he meant? What on earth could he have meant? What is all this? Is this all important news, or is this live? Tell me what you think of the USA Today. Do you remember the USA Today? You used to make fun of it. What about the Washington Post? Was that one any good? What about Washington, D.C.? What about Washington, D.C.? What about Vietnam? Do you remember Vietnam? Vietnam War? Did I tell you about the Vietnam War? I remember. What about Ransom and Helen? Ransom? What about Natalie? What about Anne Eng? Steve? What about Mary? What about Mary? Mary? Or David? Steve, Ransom, Helen? What about Anne Eng? Anne Eng? Yeah, Anne Eng. That's your family. Uh-huh. What about Natalie and Michael? What about Michael? What about the New York Times? What about the New York Times? What do you think of this newspaper? What about Uganda? Look at Uganda. The pie thrower pleads guilty. Look at this. A British protester who threw a plate of foam at Rupert Murdoch during a parliamentary hearing into the phone hacking scandal pleaded guilty to assault on Friday. And all he did was throw a plate of foam. So on Friday, that quickly, the protester Jonathan May Bowles, wow, left a comedian. Wow. I would like to say this has been the most humble day of my life. He said it was the most humble day of his life, and he threw a plate of foam in Rupert Murdoch's face. But that's a plate of foam is hardly anything. Can you believe John Andrews of Her Royal Majesty's Court Service grabbed this arm? I wish you had been there with me to protect me, Steve. It's not really a safe world out there. What about, do you remember Rebel Without a Cause? Or East of Eden? James Dean? Do you remember James Dean? Yeah. What about Hollywood? Do you remember Hollywood? Yeah. What about Johnny Cash? Yeah, Johnny Cash. What about John Wayne? Do you remember John Wayne? Or Tennessee Wild West? Or Salem of the South? The Witch of East Nashville? Yeah. They're really mean to Obama over there on Fox News. They really don't seem to like him, do they? They kind of seem racist to me. I like these colors. Get back to Obama's A federal judge dealt a setback on Friday to the Obama administration's crackdown on leaking of government secrets to journalists, sharply limiting what prosecutors can ask the author of a book about the CIA in court. Judge Leonie Brinkema of the Federal District Court of Alexandria, Virginia, issued an order that had been sought by the author, James Risen, who is also a reporter for the New York Times, restricting his testimony in the trial of former Central Intelligence Agency official Jeffrey A. Sterling, who is charged with providing classified information to Mr. Risen. James Risen, specialist in media law, portrayed the ruling as highly unusual, saying it could set an important precedent. While many states have so-called media shield laws that allow judges to quash subpoenas ordering reporters to testify. Do you want to look at a different page now? You know, I'm morally opposed to the way they're so Islamophobic over at the New York Times, Dad. I don't like Islamophobia. It's a new kind of hatred. Look, and hey, Gucci, they cut down the... Hey, Dad, this Gucci handbag, this comes from rainforest deforestation. Can you believe that? They cut down the rainforest on this one. Cut it down. Rainforest. So they can make the leather for that